Secretary of State Antony Blinken is speaking out after the U.S. Navy and U.K. Royal Navy shot down 18 Houthi drones and 3 missiles in the Red Sea. He says his trip to the Middle East is part of a big push to stabilize the conflict in the region.
We were focused on making sure that the conflict ongoing now in Gaza doesn't spread to other places. That's been our focus since October 7th, and it remains our focus today. That makes it particularly important that we respond when we see something like the aggression coming from the Houthis that continues to be repeated, directed at shipping in the Red Sea.
This all comes as Hamas says at least 40 people are now dead, including a journalist, after Israeli Defense Forces bombed a home in Gaza. ABC's Patrick Reevell has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Israel's war in Gaza has been extraordinarily deadly for journalists. At least 79 have been killed in just over 3 months, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. The highest toll for any conflict since the CPJ started collecting records 3 decades ago. The first deaths were of Israeli journalists, killed as Hamas rampaged through southern Israel during the October 7th attacks. Then Israel began its military operation in response. Reuters photojournalist Issam Abdallah among the first killed. He was filming with a group of journalists at the Lebanon-Israeli border. Then an Israeli tank fired into them, video capturing the moment. The tank hitting them a second time. 6 other journalists injured. Reuters and AFP, as well as Human Rights Watch and Reporters Without Borders, say their investigations show the group were deliberately fired on, demanding answers from Israel.
We call on Israel to explain how this could have happened and to hold to account those responsible for his death.
The IDF saying it was responding to anti-tank fire in the area and is investigating. But the deadliest toll by far for journalists is in Gaza. 72 killed. Journalists reporting there as their own lives are upended. Wael Dadoo, Al Jazeera's bureau chief, has lost several members of his family in Israeli strikes since October, including his wife, son, daughter and grandson. Last week, his son Hamza, also a journalist, was killed in an Israeli strike on his car. The IDF saying he and 2 other reporters had looked like terrorists with a drone. Hamza was my soul, Dadoo says, but this pain won't deter us from continuing. In December, Dadoo himself was injured by an Israeli strike. The day after, he was back on air again.
And ABC's Patrick Reevell joins me now from Tel Aviv, Israel, with more on this. Patrick, according to the CPJ, this is the highest death toll for journalists in any conflict since the organization started collecting records 3 decades ago. You're there covering this war. What do you make of these numbers and what they say about how dangerous this war has become?
Yeah, hi, Diane. I mean, another photojournalist has been reported killed in Gaza today, reportedly working for the Palestinian Red Crescent. And put simply, you know, the number of journalists being killed in Gaza right now is on a scale that we haven't seen in any other conflict really in recent memory. I mean, just an example, you know, Ukraine, an extremely dangerous war for journalists. There, we've seen 17 journalists killed in the last 2 years. In Gaza, we've seen over 70 in just the last 3 months. And I think it's partly a symptom of how Israel has been waging war in Gaza with extremely heavy bombing in an incredibly densely populated area. But, you know, the CPJ, the Committee to Protect Journalists, also says that they're very concerned about an apparent pattern of journalists being targeted by the Israeli military, as well as also their families being targeted. Now, Israel firmly denies that it targets journalists, but what's clear is that we are seeing journalists being killed in Gaza right now at a speed and scale unlike anything that we've really seen in living memory.
All right, Patrick Reevell in Tel Aviv, Israel. Stay safe, Patrick. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.